Alright, so for this video and for the upcoming videos, I decided to just like fucking intro. From now on, we're just gonna be going straight into the story. Just thought I'd clear that up. So, this story is gonna be about when I got caught sneaking out and drinking about a year ago. So around this time, I went through about a month or 2 month phase where I used to drink all the time. Well, not all the time. It was every weekend, but I would get pretty drunk on both days every weekend, and it was pretty bad. So it got to the point where I decided to start sneaking out also and meeting up with people, just because why not? And I was doing that for a while, and little did I know, as my mom started to catch on, but she was waiting for a time that she could catch us in the act to bust us for it. She didn't know I was drinking at this point, but she did know we were sneaking out. So this night I was with Peter and Mike from the last video, right? And we were just chilling in my basement waiting for my mom to go to sleep. And once she went up into bed, we waited about an hour and decided to go out and meet up with my girlfriend, who we're gonna call Katie. So we go out in my bathroom in my downstairs. There's a little window that I can just climb right out of, or I used to be able to climb right out of. It's a very small window, but it's able to fit a full body through. So we would open that up, and we have an alarm system in our house plus cameras. My mom's a security freak, so we have an alarm system to monitor all the doors and windows, and then security cameras to monitor each entry. So, I had access to the cameras, and my mom didn't know that. I mean, she's changed the password since, but I did have access to them before. Now, I would turn them off when I was leaving, just so they wouldn't catch me, and they wouldn't see me. And I would also, or in the window that we would go out, that was one of the only windows in the house that wasn't monitored by the security system. So, my security system shows like history. So when in the morning, if like my mom woke up and saw like one of the doors was opened at 1:30 and then opened again at 4, she'd know we were sneaking out or something like that. So I've realized that that window was the only one, or one of the only ones in the house that wasn't monitored. It didn't have a sensor on it. So obviously I took that as an opportunity. I was sneaking out of there. I did it about like 4 or 5 times before this time. This night, Katie's friend, my girlfriend's, one of her friends was with her that she was sleeping over. So we all snuck out. We met at a park. And Katie's friend brought a whole bottle of New Amsterdam vodka, and these bottles are really, really big. The type that she brought, the type of New Amsterdam that she brought, was really big. So we had a lot for the five of us, or there were six of us actually, because there were two of Katie's friends who were there. But so we get to this park, and Katie's friend is already a little drunk at this point. Not super drunk, but you can definitely tell she's on something. So we chill at this park for a little bit, and that's when my girlfriend Katie starts to drink. Now, she is a very small person. She's like 5'2", and like barely 100. I don't even think she's not even 105 pounds. So she is a super lightweight. So it took her nothing to get absolutely drunk. Like, she can't remember that. And I remember I drank a little bit by the time she was fully drunk and like couldn't control herself. I drank a little bit, so I was a little bit tipsy. I was having fun. And I just remember at this point we were just like kind of walking around. Well, not really walking. I was walking around laughing. She was kind of laying on the ground laughing at nothing. Like there was nobody with her. But at one point I went over and kind of laid down with her and stuff like that. I don't even know. We were tipsy. Well, she was drunk. I was tipsy. So I don't know why we were laying on the ground. We could have sat on a fucking bench or something. But no. So we were there for about 30 minutes at this point, and that's when I don't know what I was thinking, why I would sneak out and get this drunk, but that's when I decided to just, like, fuck it, I'm gonna drink a lot. And I took about yeah, when I tell people that this story, they yeah, so I took like 4 or 5 mouthfuls worth of vodka and no chaser. Don't ask me how I didn't throw up. I have no idea. No, that like we had nothing. We had a Four Loko, but that's even more alcohol, so I don't know why. We brought nothing. Like I had no chasers for that. I should have thrown up. I if I tried it now, I definitely would have thrown up. But I don't know. I guess I must have been used to it because I've been drinking for like 2 months at that point. So I drank a lot in a very short amount of time. Like I took those 4 or 5 mouthfuls in like probably 15 minutes. And when I say mouthfuls, I literally mean mouthfuls, not like little sips. I took mouthfuls, like my cheeks were full. Anyway, so I was very drunk once all that kicked in, and I blacked out. I don't remember most of this night, but I'll go through what I do remember, right? I remember when it started to kick in really hard. Like I could feel myself. Like I knew I was going to black out, but I couldn't control it. I was nervous inside. I couldn't control my actions outside though. So I kind of like go over to Katie and just like fall over laughing. And my vision is fucked up at this point. Like it is so bad. I can't control anything I'm doing. And that's the last thing I remember. So what I've been told is we were there for about another like 30 to 45 minutes. Like when I say I'm gonna say when I black out throughout this story, and this is just what I'm gonna be told. Like when I say I black out, I'm just gonna be telling you guys what I've been told by my friends. So I blacked out. Apparently we were there for like another 30 to 45 minutes, and then I snapped back into reality. I remember this part. My one friend, Peter, he was yelling at me that we had to leave because it was like 3 a.m. at this point. So he was yelling at me that we had to leave because it was getting really late. And I was still fucked up. But I don't like Katie going anywhere alone at night, like anywhere alone at night when she's sober. And she was still fucked up too. So I was like, we have to walk them home. We have to walk them home. And then I blacked out again. And then apparently we started walking her home. We got we were like halfway to her house from where we were. And that's when my mom pulls up in my sister's car. And I remember this part. I remember it. It's a little bit foggy, but I do remember it. I remember headlights pulling up behind us, and at first we thought it was just a regular car just passing by, so we move over to the side of the street, and then someone gets out of the car, and all hell breaks loose. It's 3 a.m., and all I remember is, get in the fucking car, give me your fucking phones, stuff like that, and that's when I realized it was my mom. I was still drunk at this point, and so was Katie. So we decided it's a good idea, even though she obviously sees us. We decided it's a good idea to try and hide behind a tree. I remember Katie hiding behind a tree and her calling me over, her like waving me over, like Nick, come on, or whatever. And then I think about it for a second. I kind of sobered up at this point. I think about it for a second. And I'm like, there's no way I'm getting out of this situation. Like, she knows we're behind the tree anyway, so I'm kind of just like, I say to Katie, I just go, there's no point. So I turn around and walk over to my mom, and she's yelling at me, and she didn't know we were drunk yet. Well, I mean, after this she did. She didn't know we were drunk when we first snuck out, and then once she pulled up on us, she realized, or at least when I walked over to her. She was yelling at me, give me your phone, stuff like that. But I didn't have my phone. Peter had my phone because I was too drunk to remember picking it up at the playground. And Peter was yelling at my mom that he had my phone, but she wasn't listening. She kept yelling at me. I'm not sure exactly why, but it's whatever. And then I black out again. And now I'm going to tell from like what my friends told me. So I got into the car, apparently, and then I was the first one. Actually, no, Mike was the first one in the car because he just knew. He was like, all right, I'll just get in the fucking car. So Mike was the first one in the car. I get in the back. I don't know if I said anything or not to Mike or if he said anything to me. But I get in the back, and then apparently Katie, my girlfriend, or my mom was yelling at Katie to call her dad, but Katie couldn't because she was too fucked up that she couldn't type in the letter or the numbers. And then she finally got a hold. Well, not really. She called her dad, but her dad didn't answer. So they got into the car, and I remember just repeating over and over again to Katie, I love you, I'm so sorry that we're going to have to break up, stuff like that. I was still fucked up. I don't know what I was saying. My mom's not that mean. She wouldn't make us break up. We're still dating, actually. It's been over a year since then. But anyway, so like I was spewing like, I love you, I'm so sorry, stuff like that. And my mom turns around and tells us to shut up or something like that, just be quiet or else something. I don't remember what she said. And so we drive Katie home, and my mom goes in with Katie. I'm still blacked out, I don't remember any of this. My mom goes with Katie into her house and talks to her parents. This funny thing is, me and Katie at this point have only been dating for like maybe 2 or 3 months, I think. So this is the first time our parents have met in person at this point. So quite the situation to meet each other in, but it all went down. Katie went inside, my mom talked to Katie's dad. Everything was sorted out, and then we start driving back to my house. Now, if you remember from the last video, Peter and Mike are my neighbors, so I mean they were in the same area. So we drove back to my house, and my mom drops off Peter and Mike, and I remember right before they got out of the car, she said to them, you better go in the fucking house right now. And then she waited for them to get in the house just to make sure, I don't know, like they were gonna run away. I don't know, it was stupid. Running away wouldn't do much anyway in this situation, because we're fucking neighbors anyway. And then I black out again, and then my mom pulls into the driveway, and then I wake back up for like literally like maybe a second or two. And I remember I was in the back seat. I remember her turned around staring at me. I still remember this so vividly, and it's probably the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. She's just staring me dead in the eyes, not saying anything, and I can't even imagine. I feel so bad for my mom. I can't even imagine. Like I was sitting there like passed out. She didn't know if I was gonna fucking die. I don't even know, because I drank a lot, and she could tell. And my mom's a nurse, and she knows. She's been around people that are alcohol poisoned pretty badly, and she said I wasn't to that point. I wasn't that bad, but she was considering taking me to the hospital. So I remember that, and then I black out again, literally like 2 seconds after I wake back up, and my mom, I guess, takes me up to my room. Oh, and Peter and Mike, they could see my driveway from outside of their window, So apparently I was sitting in the car for like 10-15 minutes with my mom. I don't even know if we had a conversation, but I'm not going to ask my mom. Even now, it's been a year. I'm still not going to ask her. I don't want to bring that back up. But so that happened, and I black out again. My mom brings me up to my room, gives me a trash can, and just in case I throw up. And yeah, so I guess I pass out right away. And then I wake up in the morning, and it is all wet in my bed. At first, I thought it was sweat. It was not sweat. I drank so much, I pissed the bed real bad. Like, real bad. So that was quite interesting. But I wake up in the morning, my mom has friends over, and I can tell you with full confidence, I did not want to go downstairs because it was a Sunday. I woke up, or the day we woke up was a Sunday. We snuck out on a Saturday night. But my mom had friends over, and her friend that she had over was one of the ones that like I grew up with. Like she was around for my whole life, and the last thing I wanted to do was go downstairs and see. Like, I didn't care about my mom. My mom already knew. I didn't care. And well, I mean, I guess the friend did already, but I did not want to go downstairs. I did not want to face her. But yeah, so I didn't have my phone in the morning. I couldn't come in my basement, which is basically like where my room is. I have a room, but my basement I kind of like live in, because it's so nice down here. But I couldn't go in the basement. I wasn't allowed to watch TV. Like, I wasn't allowed to do anything. And that whole Sunday, I woke up and I had a headache. I did not have a hangover, but I had a headache. It's not like my body was super like bleh. Like, it was just, I just had a hangover, or I just had a headache. But I had to work all day raking leaves and stuff like that, doing yard work and everything. The worst thing I think that came out of all of that, my sister and I have a really close relationship. At this point, my mom hadn't told my sister yet. Oh my god, this is the worst thing that came out of that whole experience. I don't care. Like, I take my phone all you want, but this was the worst thing. So that morning, it was like, I woke up early for how drunk I was. It was like 8 o'clock. I came downstairs after my mom's friends left, and it was like 9 at that point. I woke up at 8. I went down at like 9. And my mom made me FaceTime my sister off of my mom's phone because I didn't have my phone. But my mom made me FaceTime my sister and tell her what I did. And I knew my sister's like 4 years older than me, so she's much more mature. And I knew she'd be so disappointed. And that, out of everything that happened that night, telling my sister that what I did and how I got caught was easily the worst thing that came out of that. I hope that never happens again. Like, oh my god. But yeah, that was quite the night. I haven't drank since then. Actually, I haven't drank a single thing in the longest time because I don't want to repeat that ever again. So yeah, that was an interesting story. I was grounded. I didn't have my phone for about 2 weeks after that. I wasn't allowed in my basement for about 2 months, about a month. And then I wasn't allowed to hang out with Peter and Mike, who are my best friends, or my closest friends. I wasn't allowed to hang out with them for about 2 months maybe. And then my first sleepover with them was after like 4 months after that happened. It was quite the thing. Yeah, I drinking doesn't pique my interest anymore. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, and thank you.